Welcome to the Encouragement Engineering Podcast, where we help people to combat the negativity that inundates our daily lives with a positive perspective and positive action. Today's guest is Roman Fischer. Our guest today learned from life experiences. His grandfather and a close family friend passed away due to serious health problems from cancer and unhealthy eating habits. From those experiences, Roman knew he didn't want the same to happen all over again to the people he knew and loved, and even the whole world population. Roman also witnessed his brother's transformation from lifting weights when he was 15, and that aligned him into the Living Healthy camp. Roman figured that he'd take this upon himself to help transform people's lives one body at a time and to ultimately help transform the world. So please welcome to the show, Roman Fischer. Roman, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. It's a pleasure being here as well.
Well, great. Well, why don't we start off? We'll let the people get to know you. Tell me a little bit about you and how you got to the background between how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so basically just, I used to not always be the healthiest person. And, I was not really ever one into fitness, actually. It's crazy, looking at me and seeing all my, stuff in my bio and my social media, you would think that that would never have been a thing. But I used to actually just go all out, eat a lot of candy. I actually would be one to eat a whole bag of Twizzlers, even.
Wow.
Like that's how
Okay.
unhealthy I was, really. I didn't really care about what I ate, what I drank, and if I even, did any physical activity in a single week. So I was actually one of those people that just played video games, just lounged around and and just took it easy, like almost all the time that I could. But yeah, throughout all that, I learned that over time, like my energy was just really, sluggish. I didn't really
Right.
have any energy. I didn't feel good. I did not really look as confident as I wanted to, just all around,
Right.
inside and out. I didn't feel confident. And I grew up more of as like the skinny kid in school. I was more of like that skinny kid
Uh,
in school. And then, yeah, I got picked on a lot. And it was a, yeah, bad situation.
hmm.
But throughout all that, and then seeing, of course, my brother getting into fitness when I was, 15, and just seeing him then get into fitness, that inspired me to want to start taking on weightlifting, and
Okay.
seeing like the muscle growth, the strength, and just the overall improvement in his physique, that definitely inspired me to want to actually delve into that realm of health and fitness. And then, of course, on a more serious note,
Right.
seeing my grandpa pass away and a lot of the other people I knew and loved that didn't really, sadly, take care of their body and their, overall health. And that definitely just pushed me in that direction of
Right.
wanting to actually make that change. And then after that, I just went all in. And
Yeah.
I never looked back.
Well, and that's some big events in your life. Like you said, you see a family member pass away from something like that. It really puts a image in your mind. It really puts a path directive towards your life. And I think that's important that it doesn't have to be that way. Just recently had a friend that was 43 that passed away from cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh,
Life
wow, I'm sorry to hear
choices.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, we don't have to go down that path, and you see the effects of it. And the sooner you understand that, I think the better off you are. Like, you had an example with your brother. I had a similar example growing up. I saw my good friend of mine, his brother would work out and so forth, and I saw at 15 you start to see, oh, he's building up, he's getting muscles, girls are giving him their number, this on the internet and stuff like that. I'm like,
Oh,
hey, maybe
yeah.
this stuff works, I'll try this. And so, yeah, we started working out. But there's so many benefits to our health. I mean, we need to have our body for everything we do. So I guess, what inspires you the most to keep doing this?
Yeah, definitely. So honestly, it's basically an addiction at this point. It is a gym addiction, if you will. So honestly, just going, I used to work out 6 days a week. I did scale it back to like 4 to 5 days a week to
Hmm.
keep it a little more manageable, but still it is very much a huge passion and an addiction. But what's keeping me going, I'd say the most with this whole fitness lifestyle, with going in and out of the gym and just eating healthy, is just the, boost of energy and the craving for that boost that I've had in confidence. And then also just after you work out, whether it's at a gym or even if you work out at home, after you work out, that feeling with the endorphins that you get and the uplifting, positive energy and vibes that you get from that, it's very, much, I mean, it's addicting.
Right.
It's something that you can't just put down. You have to just keep wanting more of it each and every day. It's a
And
really
that's a
cool thing.
and that's a great point you bring up because it's a positive addiction. The benefit you get out of it is, that energy level, that health, that vibrance, that positive attitude. You realize you can do things. It really helps you in more than just what you're doing, and it's more than just lifting weights, or just running. You mentioned a key thing there, the diet. If we can touch on that a minute, because that's the hard part. I think people like to eat, they want to go out with their friends, they want to do stuff with their family, etc. And our whole orientation towards food, I just recently read an interesting book called The Glucose Revolution, and it talks about the effects of sugar in our system and how it makes your body go up and down, and that's what wears your body out, your joints, your skin, etc. Help us to understand a little bit the discipline that takes for nutrition and how that integrates into what you just talked about with a positive energy, positive vibe, if you would. That's always an intriguing piece to me, if you would.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So diet is definitely roughly at least 80% of it. And
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those things that most people can't nail down, at least not for a good while when they start their fitness journey. It is definitely one of those things that you have to work at just
Yeah.
continuously. I know for myself, when I used to not really eat very healthy, and I would just, snack out on a bunch of candies like Twizzlers, Sour Patch Kids, you name it,
Oh,
I would always crave that
yeah.
because sugar, as you just named it, it does a lot of bad things to your body. And sugar, much like, healthy eating and, physical exercise can be addicting in a good way, sugar can be addicting to you in its own way, in a really bad way, of course. And what it does is when you have sugar, your body's wanting to crave more of that because that's what it's getting, in its system. So it's wanting more of that same thing. And it thinks that's, the norm and that's what you're supposed to have. And honestly, all it's going to do is just going to not really give you energy. It's just going to
Yeah.
make you feel more sluggish, age your skin. And so, what it takes to be disciplined, I would say, is just starting out small and small increments over time. Obviously, you probably are not going to go from eating like, McDonald's food and Big Macs to just eating a bunch of salads and grilled chicken and rice,
Yeah.
but it is a work in progress. So what I recommend doing is if you are one of those people, especially at the start of this whole health and wellness journey,
Yeah.
is to just, you know, eat what you're eating maybe for now, but gradually work your way or wean yourself off of it. It's just like if you're having medication, you can't really just go cold turkey. It's good to wean yourself off of that and gradually, get off of it
Yeah.
ultimately. So I recommend just having, maybe the same kind of eating habits you've been having for a little bit, but then gradually add in, like some chicken and rice. Doesn't have to always be salads. I
Right.
know a lot of people think that, but healthy eating can still be fun.
Yeah.
You can still have like sweet potatoes, you could have steaks, but just do it in moderation.
Right.
You don't want red meat any more than like 3 days a week. So um, in a nutshell, just gradually add in healthy foods to your diet.
Well, and that's a good point there, because the other thing I was thinking of is, what about the age? I mean, how does that affect? Because when we're younger, our metabolism's just through the roof. Our teens or 20s, we could eat anything and it doesn't, you blink and it burns off. Now it's a whole different ball game when you're getting up. I'm in my 50s. It doesn't come off so easily. So, there's that piece that has a lot to do with it. And you brought up a good point. Take small steps. We don't have to do this overnight. So But do you find that the age does have something to do with it?
I feel like to an extent it definitely can. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously when you're 18 or even 25, like the prime of your life, I'm 25 right now. Um, that can be different just from an energy standpoint and energy perspective compared to someone that's like 50 or 60, because obviously, when
Yeah,
you're younger, you're usually going to have more energy. I will say this though, while that can like affect your energy and your metabolism to an extent with age, at the same time, if you do stay active throughout your life, at least fairly consistently, of
yeah,
working out at least 3 days a week each week, if you do that over the course of several years and even decades, your energy can actually be that of someone that's younger.
yeah.
Probably not exactly someone that's
No,
25, but
yeah,
at the same time though, you can have solid energy for someone that's like 40 or 50,
yeah.
maybe 20 years younger than what you really are.
That's good to know too. That's an incentive in itself, if you will. Just keep at it. It does pay off. I know. When I go into the office, there's stairways or there's the elevator. Which one are you going to choose? Simple things like that. It's a two-story building. I'll take the stairs. It's not that hard. I'm not going to do that on an 18-story building. I
Right.
did that when I
Yeah.
was younger, coming down one time. My knees felt like rubber when I was done. But hey, you know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. But there's things like that we can make choices that will help us. Park the car a little further so you get some steps and some walking time, some fresh air. Um, I guess another thing that gets me is you mentioned it a little bit is um obstacles. What are some of the biggest obstacles you may overcome? I mean, age obviously that can affect you. You're not going to start out and be like the same as a 20-year-old. But what are some other obstacles you may see in this journey of improving our health?
Yeah, I would definitely say there's a lot of other obstacles other than just, age itself.
Yeah.
There's also, could be lack of energy.
Hmm.
Lack of time is a huge one for a lot of people. Obviously, I will say this, there is, if there's a will, there's a way. I love that saying
Yeah.
because it definitely applies to people that say they don't have much time or a lot of time, because I do know a lot of people don't have, much time these days because we live in a pretty microwave society where things are, super quick
Yeah.
and things got to get done as soon as possible. And work can keep us pretty busy, of course, too. But I will say to overcome that, it's just to, find even 1 or 2 days each week for like 15 to 30 minutes, even if it's just 2 days of working out, just a 15 to 30 minutes, and do that before work. That
Yeah.
way you feel more grounded the rest of the day because it's going to be easier to work out before instead of after work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're worn out at the end of the day. I've experienced both those scenarios. I used to, when I was in college, I'd work out after work, and then as I started working more, yeah, it was definitely. I love the morning routine. I'm up early. I'm an early bird. I had a couple coworkers that would go in early, and we'd keep trying to one up each other, get there 5 minutes before the other one, five
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
before the other one. Now I'm in
That's
there at
good.
like 6 a.m., or earlier, a little bit before 6, and working out. And there's nobody in there, but okay, I'll continue it. I'll continue that path. And uh, you know, I like the benefits that I've seen throughout my life with the health. Like you said, that some of the biggest hurdles I think is like you said a little bit with the food. That's the hardest part because it's getting stuff you think nothing tastes good. How do you get people to realize that it can be, you mentioned it can be fun. How do you show people the fun, if you will, of healthy eating?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say basically anything that you usually have seen as not, very healthy, you could actually turn that into something more healthy and good for you and your overall health.
Yeah.
So how I recommend that is, instead of having, let's say, white pancakes with a bunch of maple syrup and then, bacon, what you could do is have turkey bacon where it's, not as fattening,
Yeah.
has less fat content, and then you could also have whole grain pancakes,
Yeah.
so they could be pretty similar.
Yeah.
Or you could even do keto pancakes if you're on like a keto kick. Not that the keto diet's necessary to be healthy, but that's another way of still having pretty good healthy eating and
Okay.
still have similar, foods to what you were having before.
Right.
Also, another trick too is if you have oatmeal,
Hmm.
instead of adding in a bunch of brown sugar, because, sugar in moderation is
Yeah.
okay. It's still not really good to have if you don't have to have it. So, what you could have if you're having oatmeal is you can actually put peanut butter in to actually be a substitute. And I've tried that. It's really good. And a bonus tip too is to add like some fruit because obviously natural sugar from
Right.
fruit itself is actually really good for you.
Right.
And even that you got to limit, but
Yeah.
having like a banana and some oatmeal or blueberries with some peanut butter, it goes pretty good. It goes pretty good together.
It's funny because my son, he's got his physical trainer certification and so forth, and he does that too. And the bananas and the oatmeal, and I thought that's different. But yeah, the protein content, you mix some blueberries in there. The blueberries, you can get so many vitamins out of blueberries. Um, very, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try that. I'm getting hungry now. When you mentioned whole grain pancakes, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be good. I forgot that those are nice because they really fill you up. You don't need, these two lumberjack flapjack scenarios with those whole grain pancakes. You can do the silver dollar ones and get by with three of those, and it's pretty filling.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah, people forget about those substitutions. I think that really makes it intriguing. It's like, yeah, I can do that. That sounds good. One of the things I noticed is on your website, it talks about how you help others be better. How do you become the better you yourself?
Yeah. So other
Mhm.
than just overall health and fitness, that's one of the key pillars, if you
Mhm.
will, to actually becoming better, obviously, because
Yeah.
health is in fact wealth. But in addition to health and fitness, I would have to say just, having that positive mindset and more of the limitless mindset. So
Yeah.
instead of feeling limited,
Yeah.
be not so limited in your mindset because a lot of people sadly these days especially have very much limiting beliefs because maybe they're watching a lot of depressing news from the media
Yeah.
or maybe they're seeing a lot of depressing movies or depressing songs that they might listen to.
Right.
So just depending on what you're consuming that can obviously affect that, but I would say just tuning all that out, just totally tuning that stuff out and basically putting a blindfold on yourself from that. But
Right.
then everything else, just realizing that we actually are as limited as we want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe we'll ever be Superman in the
Yeah.
flesh, but but at the same time, though, I do believe that we're a lot more capable of things than people say we are.
Right.
And it's crazy too, because a lot of people will say that something can't be done, but whenever it's done, then it's a whole different story.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always think of the scenario with Jesse Owens when he broke the what was it 4 minute mile, and then
Yes.
there was what 7 people that broke it within 6 months after that. So it's just that
Wow.
shifting that paradigm, that mindset, and I'm sure you see that even lifting weights. That one more set, just do that one more set. And every time you get to that point where it's like, okay, this is hurting. I'm not sure I can do another one. You think, okay, just one more can do it.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and that
Mindset
helps.
is everything. I mean, you know, working out obviously is a very much a physical aspect
Yeah,
to that. There is very much a physical aspect, but beyond that, I would say it's even more mindset. As crazy as that might sound to a lot of people,
yeah. No,
because
I understand it. Yeah,
yeah, because if you don't have that, mindset behind it, that one more rep, just like you were saying, or one more set, you're not going to really get through that exercise or
right.
your just entire workout as easily as you could. Because I've noticed it myself. Like if I'm working out and I didn't sleep as well on one night before that,
Yeah.
I actually don't, perform as well in the gym.
Hmm.
But when I have a really good mindset and I know that I can actually get through this rep and I tell it to my conscience that I can
Yeah,
actually get through it, I always do.
yeah. That's something that's good to know because that's important to push yourself. That mindset is so critical, and obviously that's encouragement engineering. That's what we dwell in, and I appreciate that because It's the mindset, and that will help you not only in the weight room, but when you get home and something breaks and you got to fix it, you'll have the mindset to overcome that hurdle of, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you can look up stuff, you can take things apart, you can look at how it's put together, and see what might broke, that you can overcome it. There's all kinds of plays that falls into with life. So thanks for sharing that with us. I appreciate that reminder.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, does your mindset guide your energy for your clients, if you will, because you're portraying that onto them with your help?
Yeah, 100%. So what I do too with the clients that I have, I do two coaching calls and
Okay.
two weekly check-ins with them through Zoom, kind of like what we're doing now on Zoom. I'll
Yeah.
just do two weekly check-ins
Okay.
and just basically follow up with their, how their workouts are going, meals, but then I also go into their sleep, energy,
Okay.
and their motivation and mindset and their wins
Yeah.
throughout the week. And if their mindset's not there on a certain week, I can definitely tell. And then obviously their productivity for the week won't be
Mhm.
as good, so to
Right.
speak. But I notice whenever their mindset's a lot better and a lot, more powerful, that their productivity's through the roof. So
Wow.
mindset is very much a key factor and a key part in definitely being more productive and just overcoming
Right.
obstacles.
Well, and it brings up a great point because, okay, if you see that mindset, how do you help them to shift that? I mean, it's not one of those things you're going to slap them upside the head and say, no, do it this way. It takes time. How do you help them shift that mindset so that they could, produce those results they want, maybe the next week or whatnot?
Yeah, definitely. So, just like with most things, I would have to say just doing it in small steps and small increments.
Right.
And first, just analyzing what caused them to feel, that certain way or what caused them to fall off, if you
Right.
will, and basically just go off track.
Right.
After they analyze that and get to the root of the problem, and I help them figure that out, then I just give them action steps from there, and then I
Right.
make sure to have them do it in small increments. And then just also too, what I'll have them do is I'll have them practice positive affirmations, and then also um, having them say in the mirror that I'm unstoppable, or even you are unstoppable, and
Right.
just kind of switching between those two things
Hmm.
and saying positive things to themselves in the mirror. It's really cool because it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like it does much, but when you actually do that, especially every single day,
Yeah.
it definitely leads to some pretty monumental changes.
Well, and you think about that for a quick second. I mean, what happens when you make a mistake? Oh man, I shouldn't have, you're such an idiot. We go right to the negative. Those affirmations, they're not just woo-woo. They actually do work. They give your psyche a different movie to watch, that you can
Oh yeah.
accomplish something, that you're achieving that. So um yeah, it's those definitely do work. So
Oh yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
they definitely do. I mean, there's something about it. It's pretty much just programming your mind or
right.
reprogramming your mind,
Yeah.
especially if you're one of those people that, had a lot of negative experiences. That can definitely shift your mind dramatically in a
Yeah.
great way.
And we're always going to have those experiences throughout our day. I mean, one phone call and mayhem can occur. It's you brought up a great point earlier, is stop, put the blindfold on that negativity that's coming into our life, that turn off the TV. You don't need to listen to that constant stuff. You can get updates on the news that are not biased, that don't inundate it 16 times during a same episode. Get the highlights, and just so you're aware of things, but you don't have to inundate your stuff with all that negativity. It's not good for you. It really isn't.
Exactly.
Great.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not. And studies have shown too that negativity, it doesn't like make you dumber, but it can actually make your mind not as sharp though,
Right.
and lose decrease focus in your mind.
Yeah. That's something. Wow. Well, Roman, where can people find out more about you? Where can they get a hold of you? Tell us about your website and so forth, so we can make sure people understand where they can get more information for you.
Definitely. Yeah. So if you want to see more about what I do and what I'm about, and all the clients too that I've helped out with their minds and bodies, all you got to do is go to romanfisherofficial.com.
Right. That'll work. Well, we'll make sure we post that on the website, on this recording so people have that. So people can get in touch with you. Roman, I want to thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate you being a guest on the Encouragement Engineering podcast. It's a big help. I appreciate the mindset and what you're doing with not only for yourself, but for others. I really appreciate that. So keep up the great work.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. It was great being on for sure.
Great. Thank you. You have a great day.
Yeah, you as well.